What a lady.
It just gets bad in here, man. I just don't want to be here no more. Just pray to God just. I'm just tired of you guys talking about me and just always talking shit. You guys just don't even know how to just leave me alone. I'm just so tired.
Basically, anybody who's going back to Somalia or Kenya, like Ali did, right? They have a lot of money. In other words, you're going back, you have a U.S. passport, you must be building some kind of fancy construction there. You must be investing American money, into that part. And actually, there are bulletproof cars now in Mogadishu. There's a city within the city, right? Fancy hotels, like you could be finding Starbucks. I mean,
like a green zone, a green zone built on fraud.
Exactly, and that's where you might see Americans jogging around the beautiful.
I bet you $1 million. At least half of them don't speak English properly. Either can't speak it or broken English. They out here patrolling the streets and take a call for service. I don't know English. You're a police officer. Put this idiot on here real quick. Roll it.
Ashano kamida odayaasha community Soomaaliyeed iyo waalidiinta magaaladan degan ilmaha ku koriyay.
The Somali community here in Minneapolis has been welcoming and has shown love towards me, and I appreciate it. Over the last 3 years, we have been working together to try and address some of the real serious problems that we have in our community. We have to be honest at times with the problems that we're having in our community, and we need our community to help us fix those problems together.
I want y'all to look at the people in the background. They don't know what he's talking about. The guy right behind him is just like he reading Braille or something. He can't even look at the camera. He just that's like you go to Japan or something, or you go to Mexico, and they speaking a language you ain't never heard of. These people are looking at him like they've never heard of English. They have no idea what he's talking. They can't even track what he's saying. Look at the one behind him. Look like a black dude with an S curl. They look like black people, but they got straight hair. It's crazy to me. Look at the one in the back. I have no idea what's going on. Like he's deaf. Roll the clip.
Because it's real and it's serious.
Hello everyone, hope you're all fine. Welcome back to my channel. It's me, Bernadette, here. So I didn't expect this story to be blowing up the way it has. Minnesota is trending again, and yeah, it's because of that massive fraud case involving some people in the Somali community. We really didn't expect it to get this far. However, there it is everywhere. It's trending on social media, in and out of the US. So we are going to watch a few clips together and then give our reactions. Let's dive into this. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get started.
And we're here gathered today with the community leaders, business leaders, and youth leaders from the Somali community and from the Muslim community in Minnesota. And we're gathered here today to fully support and endorse President Trump and J.D. Vance.
Amen.
Some of the key issues of the community are the global wars, and we're for peace. Economic issues, family values, and education are some of the critical issues that this community cares. On top of that, this community cares about the economic issues and the inflation. With all these and a number of other issues, the community came together and fully is standing behind President Donald J. Trump.
Let me tell you, black people love Trump. I got the biggest vote. I got the biggest vote with black people. They know a scam better than anybody. They know what it is to be scammed. Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. We did great. Thank you.
Somalis are not black. Let me explain why. Looking at me right now, chat, am I black? I'm literally brown. I'm literally brown, bro. Think about it as well. Somalis are Arabs. We're in the Arab leagues. We speak the Arab language. We eat the Arab food. Bro, think about it like this, bro. If a whole community doesn't regard themselves as black, we can't be black, bro. We literally can't be black, bro. Boogie, did you eat your brain cells? Really and truly, Somalis are Arabs, bro. Think about it, bro. We're in the Arab leagues. We speak the Arab language. Bro, tell me I'm not lying, bro.
Look at their nation. Look how bad their nation is. It's not even a nation. It's just people walking around killing each other. Look, these Somalians have taken billions of dollars out of our country. They've taken billions and billions of dollars. Somalia is considered by many to be the worst country on earth. I don't know. I haven't been there. I won't be there anytime soon. I hope. But what the Somalian people have done to Minnesota is
the ones who have no life. They have a lot of time in their hand. They broke. They don't have no money, no ambition, nothing. They don't even have hobbies. They depressed. They lonely. You know, it's always those type of people who care about situations like this. You know, people who have something going on for their life, right? They're busy in their career, their family, they taking vacation, they're enjoying their life. You know, they're not concerned with the Somalians in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Only people you will see who's worrying about this is not even racist. They just broke. They just don't have anything going on. They're broken spiritually, physically, and financially. That's what it is. They don't have any.
We're here today because as Minnesotans, we are greater than what? Fear. We are greater than? Fear. We're greater than? Fear. Because at the end of the day, we know what our president has done. It is an attack on our community.
The president has always had very bigoted, xenophobic, Islamophobic comments when it comes to people who are of Muslim faith or people who are black. We've seen him call African nations as holes, and so it's not really surprising. But what is weird to me is just how creepy he's been obsessed with me and the Somali community.
By attempting to revoke the status of about 700 Somalis in America under TPS, Trump is scapegoating a tiny piece of the population, some of the most vulnerable people in our country. But Trump based his order on a report whose author has made it clear that his goal is to denaturalize and deport as many Somali Americans as possible.
This is the moment federal agents used pepper spray on protesters who were blocking cars in a heavily Somali neighborhood in Minneapolis. City Council member Jamal Osman says armed ICE agents went to East African restaurants in the neighborhood and demanded to see people's IDs. Osman says the agents were at a senior housing complex when they were confronted by a group of young protesters with whistles who surrounded their vehicles. Osman says the agents responded with pepper spray.
You okay? No, he's not okay. He's not okay. What happened? They put the spray in his eye.
ICE officials told the AP via email that they made no arrests in the neighborhood and provided no further details. Minnesota's Somali community, which is the largest in the U.S., has been on edge as President Donald Trump's administration targets the community.
Why is it we only take people from whole countries? We always take people from Somalia, places that are a disaster, right? Filthy, dirty, disgusting, ridden with crime. The only thing they're good at is going after ships.
Yo, Democrats, so if Somalians can't make Somali great and successful, why do you think they're going to come here and make America successful? How dare they come to America and make us assimilate to them? Now they're in office trying to shape the laws around their culture. Like, come on, get a grip of yourself, Democrats.
My great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather come here a long time ago. My tribe is, Darod. So Darod, we had to come to Minnesota to colonize and save the Dakota people. D&D. It was literally written in the Bible. Minnesota's existence and its right to exist in Minnesota, because the Somalis to exist in Minnesota, because we have been here. It's in our blood, it's in our DNA. When I think about all of the accomplishment my people made in this country, whether it is scamming, whether it is achieving businesses the right way, the halal way, whether it is stealing from you directly, I don't think it's any of your business. Everything that we have is owed to us, is tied to us, is our benefit. And he say our country is poor and garbage and Somalis are garbage. How can you say we are garbage when you have cousins in Arkansas that live in $200 rent and they cannot even afford? Original Viking, that was us. It was a story inspired by us, I promise you. Even go talk to the Norwegian people, the Swedish people will tell you the same thing. Viking original is skin color and everything is wrong. The depiction is a real Somali man, Viking. I promise you. Minnesota Somalis, we are come in peace. We don't want nothing from you except maybe your money. How about that? Maybe we do want a lot of your money, to be honest with you.
He is president of America. We have to respect him.
Shukriya Bashike and her husband own a store in downtown Lewiston. She raised 8 children, all now with college degrees, and still works 7 days a week.
We order, we drink, any kind.
She supports the president, but not his blanket statements about her home country and fellow citizens.
Some people good, some people no good. But 90% is very good people. They like to follow the rule. They work hard. They work day and night.
A lot of Muslim people and a lot of Somali people voted for him. So he represents us, and now he's targeting us.
President Trump repeatedly said Somali immigrants don't work and do nothing but complain. But here in Maine, Somalis have taken much-needed jobs in the healthcare industry, education, retail, manufacturing, farming, just about anything you can imagine.
It's very hurtful what he's saying. It's wrong.
Efra is an interpreter and executive director of a local community organization. She says with rents and prices going up, many Somalis work long hours to make ends meet.
Most Somali people I know work multiple jobs. A majority of them are very hardworking and very kind people. Lewiston Public Schools, you will find edtechs, substitute teachers. If you go to CMMC, we have a Somali doctor at CMMC. My sister is also a doctor at the emergency room.
Lewiston's Somali Bantu Community Center told us they won't dignify Trump's remarks with a response. However, some worry Trump's statements may lead to violence against Somalis.
That's a real fear that a lot of Somali people feel, me personally as well.
In Lewiston, Brad Rogers, CBS 13 News.
A lot of money there, and that same type of fraud Kirsten just told us about is exactly what led to an unprecedented crackdown in the state's autism program. Yesterday, 5 investigators revealed 85 autism centers in Minnesota are now under investigation.
Take a look at this graph showing the explosion in this program. This is the amount of money the state has paid in Medicaid claims to autism treatment providers using your tax dollars. You can see in 2017, not that much, just more than $1 million. But you see the gradual growth here. In 2021, more than $80 million. But look at last year, more than $220 million paid out in claims, with a grand total of just shy of $700 million. This is what state investigators are now looking at, these soaring costs, and questioning how many providers are doing real work.
I want to say, this also has an impact on Somalis because we are also taxpayers in Minnesota. We also could have benefited from the program.
Wow, is Ilhan Omar talented or what? Not talented at her job, talented at deflecting, talented at being not transparent. Somali Americans are about 2% of Minnesota. That means 98% of the tax dollars that were stolen were from American citizens. And here's just a random fact. Omar was negative $45,000 in debt from student loans in 2019, and now she's well over $6 million of net worth. There's something to think about right there, guys.
This is all I know. I was only 3 years old when I came, and this is my home, and this has got to stop.
I'm not scared, so I'm a citizen. I'm happy. I'm United States. I brought up America. I'm happy. So why you asking me? Some guys asking me, give me basmati, give me a green card. Why? Why you asking me?
Almost every Somali person living here is a citizen.
There's more than 100,000 Somalis in Minnesota. Roughly 84,000 reside in the metro. The journey from Somalia started decades ago.
My family immigrated here to Minneapolis, to Minnesota in 1993. As my father says, we came to a cold place, but we found people with warm hearts.
My parents wanted to provide us a good opportunity for us to chase after that American dream, right?
Many fleeing from civil war, crossing continents for a chance to build something, a chance for their children. For Sumaya Mahmoud, her parents' struggle paved the way for her to shine. Despite the rhetoric, she's grateful to be Somali and American.
One thing they taught me was resilience and not letting, other people's perception of you limit what you can do for yourself. I was born in Kenya, and then I grew up here, started kindergarten, K through 12, all the way up to college here in Minnesota. So I
believe that the Somali fraud operation in Minnesota is the single greatest theft of taxpayer dollars through welfare fraud in American history. We believe that we have only scratched the very top of the surface of how deep this goes. And you're familiar with all the scams with pretending that children have autism who are not in fact autistic, with pretending to enroll people in food programs when in fact nobody was ever enrolled, and engaging in massive fraud, lying, and theft and grift on a scale we've never seen before in American history. The total bill, the total tab for this is going to be far beyond the numbers we've already seen reported. We believe the state government is fully complicit in this scheme, and we believe that what we are going to uncover is going to shock the American people. Look, based on the records that we already have, and this is a significant undercount, by the way, 75% of the Somali population in Minnesota is on welfare. But that's likely a significant undercount of just how much of a financial burden the Somali refugee population is imposing.
No, Somali only. I guess why even learn English if you can just read the signs in Somali? If you don't force the people who move here to learn English, they never will or will never have the need to learn English.
And my point proved itself immediately.
Could I interview you? Okay, sorry. Okay, this will be fascinating. Do you speak English? Do you speak English?
Somali.
Do you speak any English?
French.
French? Bonjour. Somali?
French.
Okay. Can I interview you in French? Hey.
What are you doing, guys?
Doing news report. Huh? No. What do you mean no? It's America, no? Je vous interviewer in François? He doesn't speak French. Maku ware san kara af Somali? Okay. Thank you. This is a unique place. My name's Tyler.
Yes, video.
We're trying to talk to members of Somali community.
Yeah.
Because the Trump thing, temporary protected status over. I wanted to talk to people that live here. Would you be open to giving any thoughts for a little news piece we're doing?
Okay, good.
Good?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. Okay, see you. Nice people. But keep in mind it says it's not safe right there. It's not safe. Whisper on the wall, Dark Souls style. Well, we're trying to talk to members of the Somali community. And no? Okay. Okay.
And then I headed towards the Riverside Plaza apartment complex, known for its large Somali population, to see if I could find anyone here that spoke English.
Speak English?
No, I speak French.
Bonjour. Can I interview in French?
I'm sorry.
Interview in François? Okay, bye-bye. Yeah, once you start speaking French, they don't speak French.
What's your name? 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 You can't do that. What is your name? 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 What's your name? What's your name? No, let it go. No. Don't touch me, man. Don't touch me. Don't fucking touch me. It's your services, son. What's your name? You have ID? You have ID? You have ID? No? What's your name, dude? Huh? Feel good about yourself? Yo. Go ahead. Hey, I got his ID. Show him. I got his ID. Good ID. His ID. Yeah, let's get this idea. Let's get a release. She can make noise.
So thank you so much if you're able to make it this far. First of all, this whole thing started with the Feeding Our Future scandal. So Feeding Our Future was supposed to provide meals for kids during COVID, but instead prosecutors say that hundreds of millions of dollars were stolen. And yeah, a number of defendants in that case happened to be the Somalis. So this major Feeding Our Future scheme is one of the biggest COVID-era fraud cases in the US. And by the way, the major ringleader or the founder of this scheme was a white American woman. She founded and led the nonprofit that coordinated the fraudulent claims. However, most of the defendants charged and convicted in Feeding Our Future are Somali Americans. And other related fraud cases include Medicaid, housing, and autism services, which also involve mostly Somali Americans. And this operation hasn't just started, it started way back, but this was like an escalation of it. Arrests have been happening. If all these people are from the same place, I think these people were known by even other community members. They knew what was happening. Somalis are always together, like they do their things together. Even way back in Africa, where you find a Somali, you find them like they are in one place. They mix with other people, like in maybe business or like socializing, but it's not that they really live, like you find them so much into other people. Like they are hardworking people, that's what I know. They really work, especially the men. I don't know so much about the women, but mostly the men, they are hardworking guys. They work like for their money. However, they say there is no smoke without fire. If you're in a foreign country, however much they are saying that Minnesota is their homeland, it's what their promised land, but remember, if you're in a foreign country, you don't have to behave like you are the owner of the place. You humble yourself, however much there are rights and what. I don't think it's right to behave like with so much arrogancy and provoking and mimicking and disrespecting others, disrespecting their leaders. I don't think that is what anyone would be expecting from a foreigner in their country. Maybe they are trying to show the world what we didn't know. Maybe this whole thing is uncovering more bigger things because of the way they are doing their things, the way they are responding or reacting to this whole fraud scandal, especially the youngsters. I don't know. They are not acting well. However much they are saying that they can't be touched, they can't be deported, they are rightful citizens of the US. But remember, even if you have a US passport, or even if you are a citizen of the US, a country has a right to revoke your citizenship. So I would think that they just need to calm down, be careful with whatever they are saying, with whatever they are doing. Even if you are innocent, you need to calm down and behave, not just becoming wild and posting so many things that may incite something bigger. That is not a good impression. But of course, they have been saying they are not blacks, they are not even Africans. Yes, they come from Africa, but they are not Africans. They are Arabs, they are Caucasians, they are I don't know what. They don't want to identify with black people, they don't want to identify with African people. That is some level of arrogance, but it's okay. Each one is free to call themselves or identify themselves with whatever they want to. The Somalis are trying to defend themselves. They are saying that they don't know the real thieves. So who is the real thief? So I think this Somalis forget that the whole world is watching them. Whatever they are doing is being noted by everyone all over the world. They may think that they are just, I don't know, making what, or trying to make a point, or I don't know, whatever it is, but the whole world is watching, and it may one day be used against them in case they want to go somewhere. You saw even their congresswoman, she's called Omar, when they were asking her about what does she say about the fraud, she just grappled. She didn't, in fact, she didn't even answer. She didn't give an answer. She was just talking about very different things there, and she dodged to give a clear answer about what she thinks about the fraud scandals in her area. What image does it give? If she was aware of what was taking place, it leaves a lot of question marks behind her leadership. Don't carry the behaviors of your country into a new country. I don't think that is right. It portrays a bad image about people from certain areas. Then that lady who was in the hijab, the one who was talking about how her grandparents came there and found that land. I think they were the founders of that land, the promised land. How she doesn't care how they acquired their wealth, whether they were stealing or scamming people, she doesn't care. So even if they also defraud or steal or scam, to her I think it's just very okay. They feel they have a right to do that, not knowing that they are affecting other people who would be benefiting from such services. Imagine if these children were not fed and they went hungry, and these people were given the money, they didn't use it. But where did the money go? I should imagine that now Somalia is really developed, because that is a lot of money, and people are coming up and saying that they were born in the US and they have never driven such expensive vehicles, which the Somalis are driving. So all those question marks are just there. But of course they are hardworking. Like I said, Somalis are hardworking people. They know how to make money. They work. But just if you compare a Native American doing the same job like the one a Somali is doing, whether they will be able to acquire such wealth. And then this lady is again here looking down on the Americans, saying that they even can't afford rent of $200. They sleep in low-income houses. It's like you're mocking people. People who welcomed you are the ones you are looking so much down on. I think for them, they sleep in better houses than the Native Americans. Pride is not a good thing, but yeah, we are different people, so we have different ways of thinking and behaving. Yeah, let's wait and see how it all goes. You never know what is there. And that's why I was saying that this whole thing has, however much they may be taking it slightly and making drama and comedies and whatever out of it, it's going to affect so many people, especially in the Somali community all over, because the whole world is now watching and people will begin suspecting each Somali where they are. And then also, it will obviously affect all the people of color. The trust might disappear. And by the way, these people, the Somalis, the Black Americans, or even the African Americans, had been warning them about their behavior. And how it will affect them, but I think they didn't listen. They were, see, that's the time they said we are not even blacks, we are what? They were looking at themselves differently. So drop your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about this Somali behavior and whatever is going on? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here, and let's keep safe, please. Let me catch up with you in the next video.